Hello, I'm Winter, and this is my world building project trailer. I've seen other world builders such as Monster Garden, Finch, and Valley Boar do this, so I figured it was about time I tried my hand at it. As a world building project I've been building on and off for a few years now, although I am just now in the last few months taking it serious. Is the landmass slash realm that most of what I'm writing and drawing takes place in. I've taken inspiration from dark fantasy worlds like that in Berserk, Dark Souls, The Witcher 3, as well as games such as Little Nightmares and Bloodborne. I love horror, and I want to make a setting that's highly based in cosmic horror. I love the idea of otherworldly beings lurking in plain sight. Maybe not in real life, but in my setting at least. This all started as a Dungeons and Dragons setting, and then it evolved into a source that I pulled from for illustration. Very much a tool for drawing. Was a home for the creatures that I created. It was a mix of horror and fantasy, and I wanted to separate my creatures from Dungeons and Dragons, meaning I would make my own races, my own monsters, my own unique beings. For a long time, I've also had this problem where I've not completed my projects that I would give myself. I see what I'm doing now, posting this world building project, as a forever project. It might seem counterintuitive when my goal is to finish projects, but I do believe that this can be a good opportunity to make a good many drawings, as well as stories and lore to go along. Now, I do want to get this out of the way. This world is very much unfinished, and the purpose of this project is to develop it much further, obviously, with art and writing, and with the help from whatever community may come about. I've already met a few very kind people on the Monster Garden Discord server that have already helped me out. I hope they see this. All this being said, I'd like to give you all a short overview of the world I have developed so far. Now, most recently, I've been working on developing the magic system. I won't go too in depth, but I will ask you to imagine spellcasting in which you grapple and manipulate mana using your eyes, as well as a few minor implants. But what is it? Where does it come from? Mana, that is. And why would you be able to control it using your eyes? We will go over it. We will be focusing on the land, of course, as well as its magic, cultures, creatures, etc. The Kingdom of Isolda. Within it there are a number of sites, one of which the bustling royal city of Brookham, home to vain folk who worship industry and adorn themselves in fine, feathery vestments. The technological advancement that has occurred has inflated the egos of any person who has dipped a toe into it. Also in Isolda, further north, where it gets much, much colder, are the Zilvran Mountains, home to small hamlets that shun the industrial progress of the lowlanders. These folk see a simple life of homesteading and hard work as the only correct way to live. Too bad they share the mountains with monsters, witches, and other unknowable abominations. They are truly a hard-headed people. Strong, but hard-headed. As I was talking earlier of making my own races to separate further from Dungeons and Dragons, as much as I love your typical dwarves and elves, tieflings, and such, I want this to be quite a unique setting, and one that really comes from my mind, and others, of course. The beast folk of Guest are a tall, hairy folk that were once slaves, but they are now free, although they are scattered across the realm. Their history is scattered as well. There are the Dreth, the small bird folk who puppet dead bodies with arcane energy. They live in the cold reaches of the Zilverin Mountains. I have a few more, but we'll save that for later. Here's what I can say. I've got a couple videos in mind going over the lore in this setting, and I'm currently hashing out details. For the first video that I'm going to make, I'd like to cover the magic system that I have labeled Albemancy, as I feel it is quite an important pillar for a fantasy world.